Alright then, so about to open this. Here we go. I'm too good at this. Alright. So, you graduated 2 years ago from the local interpreter education program. Good, I graduated. It only took 2 years, didn't take 5. You are a staff interpreter at a high school. This is probably what I'm going to do because I've heard it's consistent and I gotta pay back the duty on my stipend anyway. This is your second year at the same high school, alright, so that means I'm doing a good job, but your first year with this student. Okay, so then I'll probably have to get to know him or her. The consumer that you work with is a 16-year-old girl who has been mainstreamed since 9th grade. Okay, so she's going to probably sign differently than some people like residential schools maybe. Prior to that, she was a student at the state deaf school. Okay, well then, I guess not. That has a bye-bye approach to communication and education. Bye-bye, meaning bilingual. Okay. This high school is a district that has adopted Sign Exact English. I'm not too big a fan of that, but I'm sure I'm going to have to use it someday. As the official interpreting language. Oh man, why am I working here then? The Educational Interpreter Handbook mandates that the interpretation in the classroom be spoken English to C. Guess I'm going to have to bear through that. Okay. What are your thoughts? Well, it's good that I'm successful, but it's I find it interesting that I'm just going from like I learned so much ASL and then I go from English to C, which is ugly. It's like I understand some people use it and everything, but it's just not where I want to work. Not what I want to work with. What do you do when a student appears not to be following the course? What would you do when the student appears to not be following the course? Well, I guess then that might mean that, like, let's say the student isn't just understanding, because I'm pretty sure that's what it'd be. I don't think it's asking like, hey, what do you do if the student's not paying attention? Because if they're not, then not my problem. But let's see, so the students appear not to be following the course. That's probably because they were in a residential school and they're probably better at just using sign language or something like something more conceptual than just C. Honestly, I'll talk to the student. I'll see what they prefer, but then yet again, I'm subject to some certain rules and regulations, and I don't want to lose my job, so I've got to think about what to do. I got to come up with an action plan and figure out the consequences and everything, and figure out if I can get I guess maybe a solution. And why would I go through that? Because I value my job and I worked really hard to get it. I want to make sure I'm the best. Alright, okay, I could probably keep this up to like 5 minutes and then it'll still be good for upload. So I'm gonna go to letter 2. As a part of the student's IEP, individual education plan, so still education, interpreting, guessing, she is permitted to have extended test time as accommodations. Alright, so not sure. I've heard about some people get that, like maybe she has ADHD or dyslexia or something like that, so that might be why. During a midterm week, you are asked to proctor. What does proctor mean? Proctor and interpret the student's honors English exam. Okay, so I'm going to interpret the English exam. But, okay, don't see a problem with that. You are directed to take the student to a conference room and administer the test. Okay, so I'm kind of like guiding them. It's getting a little bit, but whatever. Administer the test as you are proctoring the test for the student becomes visibly frustrated and makes a number of comments about her uncertainty to answer the questions. It happens to everybody. It's hard to watch when people struggle, and naturally you want to help them and everything, but I want to make sure I don't do that because that's definitely a no-no. Toward the middle of the exam, she expresses her frustration with you not giving her the answers. Um, it's not my job, and that's really messed up if I have a person cheat, and that's using me as a crutch. It's improper use. It would just be bad. It'd just be bad as her like looking over and copying off her neighbor. That's just not right. What she needs to do is she just needs to go to a tutor or something instead of just asking me. Like the more important thing is to learn, not just to get through the class. She threatens to report you for being mean because you are different than her last interpreter who always helped her on exams while proctoring. Well, if for one she could just be making that up, and hell, I don't know if she's yeah, she could just be making it up to get me in trouble. And if the other guy was doing that, then he's setting a bad example. I have to set the right example. If I need to, I should probably be moved and not interpret for this girl. Yeah. Um, so what are my thoughts? I've already expressed my thoughts. What I want to do? Not give her the answers. Try not to step out of my role. Figure out an action plan, but probably ultimately my control to deal with that situation would be just to not interpret for her anymore. Interpret for somebody else, but also if it comes down to it, to where I'm in a sticky situation, should probably talk to one of my higher ups and just let them know it, but still try to stay confidential. Try to stay in a broad, confidential way that we don't give out any unnecessary information, but just figure out what to do. And yeah, so I'm gonna pause the video and then I'm gonna go into number 3.